Yeah, good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's edition of AM Minnesota. I don't know about the appropriateness of that song going into what we're going to talk about today. I dropped my pen for the fourth time since I sat in my chair. Russ and Don Bauer are with us. They are the, what do you have an official title here?
Coordinators.
You're coordinators of the Faribault Farmers Market. That is Don. I gotta pick up my pen. For the fourth time since I came in the studio. Farmers Market starts tomorrow. Yippee-yay. I'm pretty excited. I know a lot of other folks are too, Donna.
Yes, they are.
I need you to get closer to that mic if you would, please. Okay?
Yes.
All right. Russ, you pretty excited? Farmers Market starting tomorrow?
Well, it's been a long spring and I've got stuff growing. It's about time to get some harvested and sell.
Yeah. So is this typically when you start, the first weekend in June?
Yes.
Always the first Saturday of June.
And it goes through October, right?
The last Saturday of October, which will be the 29th this year.
And you do Wednesdays too?
Yes. We start July 6th through September 28th, I believe, the last Wednesday.
Okay, so it's
September.
only Saturdays in June.
Yep.
And then you start Wednesdays in July.
Yes.
What are your hours, Russ?
Saturdays is 7 until noon, and then on Wednesdays it's 1:30 until 5:30.
I like the 7:30 till noon, or 7 till noon.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Because sometimes I do sleep in a little bit in the summer on Saturday. You know, I might sleep in until 8 o'clock or something.
Well, we get there and set up early, and then it's typically about 7:30 or 8 when we start getting people coming through. You get some people right away at 7. They get the better pick of what's there, and then as the day goes on, we get more and more people. There's a lot of people come down, look, do a lot of visiting, run into their neighbors and friends, and visit also. It's part of the market.
You bet it is. And a couple of years ago, they started taking some new vouchers, right?
Yes, Alina has what they call market bucks. You get them from your doctor, social services, I believe,
Yep.
and you get $5 at a time. Come down and you can spend them with anybody down there at market, any of the vendors. And it's food products only, though. Veggies and baked goods, jams, jellies, your favorite.
Yeah, homemade bread.
Yeah.
Gotta love it. Now, there's a new cottage law that was just passed last year, I do believe. Wasn't it last year? Did it go into effect already last year? I thought it went into effect this year.
It started July 1st of 2015.
Okay.
And so they've been active in some markets doing their inspecting.
Yeah. Well, I did look that up on the Department of Agriculture website. Got a little information on the new cottage law. You want to repeat to our listeners what you asked me when I came up and told you I was reading up on it?
Do you understand?
Oh, yes. I wanted to know how many times you read it and if you understand it, because you have to read it at least 3 times to follow, and there's some stuff that pertains to what each person is doing. So
Right. Now, you don't have, as you noted, Donna, you don't have just food items at the farmers market. There are other items for sale too.
Yes, like crafts.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's crafts. People make jewelry,
Yeah.
wood crafts, whatever kind of thing.
some people bring, they take these antique plates and they glue them together, and it's an art for putting on your lawn. And wood crafts, if you've seen people, they take a scroll saw and cut out these elaborate scenes. And jewelry is a big item that people like to get into, so we've got a limited number of openings for that.
Okay, we'll talk about that too, how people, if you want to sell at the farmer's market, what it takes, there's a registration fee or something. We'll talk about that when AM Minnesota continues. Reminds me, in our studios today, on our AM Minnesota program, Russ and Donna Bauer, who are the coordinators of the Faribault Farmers Market, and have been the coordinators, well, since the Mayflower came. No, I'm just kidding.
Seems like it.
How long have you been coordinators, Russ? You had the year written down, I thought.
Yeah, 1990 is when I come up with.
Okay.
Agnes Rourke was the coordinator, and she got cancer, and she asked us if we minded taking over, and that's when we got started, about 1990.
And you've been doing it ever since. Have you always been in Central Park? You guys?
We have.
I know
yes.
the farmers
We
market.
have, yes. I'm not real sure. I know they were down behind by where American Legion is.
Yep.
And I've been told that they went down to Central Avenue for 1 year, but I can't confirm that.
Oh,
so.
okay. Well, maybe some of our, we got a lot of really smart listeners.
Yeah, maybe somebody can.
You can text me that information if you know it, folks, 507-838-5233.
Yeah, that would be good to know.
Yeah, for your history books,
Yes.
for sure. Because I don't think, I asked you when we were organizing the show if you could find out when the farmer's market started. It sounds like you haven't been able to really pinpoint when it started.
No, not anymore.
So if we could get that information too, we'd love to be able to pass it on, right?
Yes, that'd be great.
To future generations. Well, it's been here since I've been in town. I came in 1987. And like you said, you've been around with it since 1990, but you sold before that, right, Russ?
Yes. Yeah, well, I started selling myself with a few items out of the garden
We had excess tomatoes that we
early
took out.
1980s. And then as we expanded and got into sweet corn and tomatoes, then we started going a little more often. One thing about you talk about the market, we charge $40. That goes for the year for people that want to vend. And it used to be, back when Agnes did it, she charged by the Saturday. So you were allowed to come each Saturday, and then she would come around and collect from you. And
It was like $5 a Saturday or something?
yes, there wasn't very many vendors then. And as it progressed, it made it easier for us to collect for the whole year, and we were getting vendors that were coming every Saturday anyway.
Sure. And of course, that money is used to advertise and that's.
Yes, we pay for advertising, and in September, we do a customer appreciation where we serve coffee, juice, and cookies to all of our customers.
Now, you wouldn't be doing this if you didn't enjoy it right now. You enjoy
Right.
going down there, sitting every Saturday
Yeah.
and Wednesday.
I enjoy it. Oh,
You guys go both days, Saturdays, Wednesdays?
yes, I don't know that we've ever missed.
Yeah. Not all vendors do that though, right, Russ?
No, there's
There are more vendors on Saturdays than Wednesdays.
right. You have Saturday vendors that are off for the weekend, and then they work during the week, so it makes it hard for them to come on Wednesdays. And so we have less vendors on Wednesday.
Now, I will say, after Dan Minnick closed his store on 7th Street, remember he made those kolaczkis?
Yes,
For the next couple of years, I know he's making kolaczkis and selling them at the farmer's market.
yes, yes. He
People would get there before market started.
Yeah, I
and-
know, they're so good.
And come and ask, where does Dan Minnick park?
Yeah.
it didn't take him long to sell out. Right now, we have another vendor that makes the kolaczkis, and they're what you call the true kolaczkis. They have a lot of filling in them, and they usually sell out pretty fast too.
It's homemade dough. I mean, she
Yeah.
Rolls it out and
Needs it.
everything.
Yeah.
Wow.
Other than that, the only other item that sells very fast at market is the asparagus. We have a person that Charlotte comes from Morristown, and she can set up at probably 8 o'clock, and by 9:30 her asparagus is gone. It's a item that everybody really likes. Yeah.
So she's the only one that sells asparagus? There's a tip for you folks. Go some asparagus, go to Farmers Market.
Yes.
So what do you guys have?
Well, right now we're starting out with pull onions and radishes, and we go into
leaf lettuce.
leaf lettuce, broccoli, cauliflower, kohlrabi. Kohlrabi is a big item. They've now come up with a kohlrabi that'll get 8 pounds, and then people are also using the large ones to cut up into like French fry squares and pickle.
Huh.
And some like theirs pickled hot. So
We have cucumbers and tomatoes,
sweet corn,
sweet corn, squash, pumpkins, pretty much.
yeah.
All
Being
the
we're there
veggies.
every Saturday and Wednesday, we got all the items that usually start in June and go until the pumpkins in October.
You know, we didn't have air conditioning in my house growing up. I remember on really hot days, Mom would make us radish sandwiches. You ever had a radish sandwich?
Oh yes, I love radish sandwiches.
And it really would cool you down.
Yeah,
It's amazing.
yeah. We have people come, and when I ask what they're going to do with them, a lot of them say the radish sandwich. You know, you got to put a lot of butter on there and the radishes, and then if you really get into it, you put a slice of fresh onion on there too. So it's a very good item.
Yeah, really, and it's quick, easy to make.
Yes.
Very quick.
Yes.
So, just a little tip there for you folks on how you can cool down in the summer on a radish sandwich. They were delicious. I haven't had one in a while. I have to stop by and get some
Yes.
radishes from you.
Yes.
Make me a radish sandwich.
Yes.
The cottage law, do we want to tackle that, Russ, or not?
I think so. I
I
think
don't know if we need to get too in-depth, but this law, well, frankly, it makes it kind of harder for farmers markets, doesn't it?
Yes, it adds more time and expense to it.
And I know the idea here is safety in our food.
Yes, each jar that you can or item that you bake has to have your name, address, phone number, all the ingredients that are in the product.
Yeah, the items under the cottage foods law are non-potentially hazardous foods. There's some things under, as far as selling under this exemption, dairy, eggs, fish, meat, poultry, and seafood, they can't be sold at all. And then there's items that are in between that you have to call them and they can give you an exemption on it. There's items that are not allowed under the cottage food law that they will allow you to sell, but a license is required, and that you have to work out with the USDA. Yeah, and then
And that would be maple syrup, right, and
Yeah.
honey,
Yeah.
that kind of stuff, and the licensing.
Yeah, and there's registration here, right?
Yes, everybody has to register.
You have to take an online test,
Yep, yes,
and you have to pass that test.
Right,
yes.
right. And this covers anyone that cooks out of their kitchen and sells at any kind of a sale through a church or a club, or and so it's not limited to just to the farmers market.
No,
but
that's
it's-
true. So the idea here is to cook out of the church kitchen.
Yeah, right.
So then you don't have to go through all that,
Right,
right?
then, right, that's allowed.
Which I don't understand,
Well,
but,
yeah. The things that they're concerned about is in the canned foods, it's got to have a pH test so it doesn't spoil, and then allergies in the baked goods, keeping the peanuts out of the food, or if there's peanuts in, that's got to be listed on your ingredients.
it says here, pickles, vegetables, or fruit have to have a pH of 4.6 or lower at a farmer's market. So,
And
there's
the
a test for that.
right, and inspectors will come, and if they want to pick a jar off your table, they will take it, and that's what they'll do. They'll check the pH. The one thing that's tough is if you're like canning pickles every week, you've got to put the date on there also that it was canned, your name, all the ingredients. Some people like to feel they have secret ingredients in
Sure.
there, and they won't be allowed. They all have to be listed.
So it makes things a little more difficult, but I guess we all want safe food.
Right, yeah,
That's the food law, the cottage food law in a nutshell. We did that within 4 minutes. That was pretty good, right? Because Russ and Don are right. There's a lot more to this than meets the eye. Well, for example, I highlighted this. If the food for the bake sale, we talked about bake sales, is prepared on site at the educational, charitable, or religious organization, and I think we touched on this earlier, you don't have to register, but if you prepare the food in your home, you need to register, and the bake sale would be considered a community event by the Department of Agriculture.
Right.
It's not a community event if you cook it in the kitchen of the church or whatever, but it is a community event if you cook the stuff at home.
Yes.
That I don't understand.
Yes.
Either it's a community event or it's not a community event. By the way, you must pay a fee too if there's a cost of registration. You pay a fee of $50 if you sell more than $5,000 for less than $18,000 in a calendar year.
Yes.
If you sell less than $5,000, there's no fee. You're limited to $18,000 in food sales in any calendar year. If you sell more than $18,000, you need a license.
Yes.
So you guys cut off your sales right at $18,000, right? Just teasing.
I don't think we make
No, we
18,000.
don't. No, we're not.
No, I,
You know,
but you have to
it's-
keep records, is what I'm getting at here, and you
Yeah,
have to
no,
pay
we-
taxes
Sure.
and all that. and-
Yeah, no,
Sure.
yeah, keep records.
That's all.
So you have to join people
Right.
to do this.
Well, and then, you know, the growing your vegetables in your garden is kind of addictive, because every year you want to do better than the year before. I keep records so I know when I started and how it grew, and the one thing that's throwing an iron in the fire is the seasonal changes here. The warm temperatures are moving up. We're about a week or two ahead, so that kind of affects your growing season.
How did you do tomatoes last year? Because most people I talked to had horrible tomatoes.
Yes, it was terrible because it was hot and wet. Tomatoes are in the nightshade family, and they don't like to get their feet wet. So if you see your geraniums, which is in the nightshade family, if you see they're not growing well,
Yeah, good tomatoes.
it's too much water, and your tomatoes. So the best thing with a tomato is keep it as high as you can, and if it happens to get a dry year, then you have to water them, but I wouldn't be putting water on tomatoes all the time because you're getting a disease into the roots.
You know, a lot of nursing homes now have these elevated gardens.
Yes.
You notice that?
Yes, that's a good thing.
And so the tomatoes would do well in those.
Yeah.
They're just wood, I mean, they're wood on stilts, so to speak, legs that elevate it so that they don't have to bend over when they're gardening.
Yes.
So that might be a good idea in your home, right?
Right.
To elevate those tomatoes.
All 500 of them?
Well, no, I wouldn't go that far. I don't plant, when I plant them, I don't plant that many. I haven't planted them in a few years because my brother always gives me his excess tomatoes now, and so
Sure.
I kind of depend on that. Last year he had a horrible year like most people, so I didn't get many tomatoes.
Yeah.
But I don't know why, Russ, but tomatoes out of the garden, and I know everybody said, well, the tomatoes in the stores are out of the garden too, but it's not the same.
Right, it's a totally different taste.
They have to grow a different type of tomato, which grows from a liquid. They're not in dirt at all. So they've got a different type of tomato. And as they keep working towards a better tomato, they will get a better tasting tomato, but nothing beats the
Yes.
tomato out of the garden.
Oh my, so delicious.
You have to enjoy them when they start, July, August, till they're gone.
But you have some for this tomorrow?
No,
No.
Okay.
I doubt that there will be any tomatoes.
I've only got blossoms.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so. Thought maybe you had some leftovers. Good luck preserving those babies. Anyway, 2015, the cottage law went into effect.
Yes.
Have you heard from other people that you vendor with, did anybody get out of business because of the cottage law, or?
Not that we've heard of yet. None of our vendors have.
Well, that's good. I'm glad to hear it didn't affect them
Yeah.
that way. Because, you know, I can see where some people say, I'm not going through that hassle.
Yeah, it's that, we get a registration card after we send it in, and people are starting to get theirs now, and it's gotta be displayed on your table,
Yeah.
so.
So then there are gonna be inspectors from the Department of Health coming by to make sure those stickers are on tables.
You have to
Right.
have them on your table.
And then they're recommending that the other vendors make a copy and give it to us, because should they come to market and leave that at home, they've got no proof that they've got it, and
And you have to have proof, yeah.
they would be sent home again.
Yeah. Maybe that's a career change for me. Become a farmer's market inspector. Then I'd get to go to all these farmers markets,
Yes.
right?
Right.
I could purchase stuff at the farmers markets and get paid for it.
Yeah, and we know they've been inspecting. Last year already they inspected the Waseca market. The week after they inspected over there, some of their vendors came over to ask us what we knew about it, and then told us that they were inspected and they sent the people home. So I'm not sure how many inspectors they have for all the markets around, but I'm sure it's something that we'll have to see.
Is there something that you'd like to see in the farmer's market now that currently isn't there? No sold? Pretty much run the whole gamut. You have farm fresh eggs, I know, because I bought them there.
Yeah, well, the eggs, I think you have to do something to have fresh eggs too, don't you?
Eggs, there's stuff that has to be done to them, and then they have to be brought in a cooler. The thing about an egg is it can sit under the hen for a few days and it wouldn't hurt it, but the minute you refrigerate it, it's got to stay refrigerated. A lot of the items that they're not allowing to be baked have eggs in them. So eggs is an item that could spoil it and get into these items,
So you may not see a ton of them in farmers markets anymore. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah.
Are we supposed to can them?
Yeah,
Are
that's,
they-
yeah.
I think they're supposed to be canned.
Right. But I can't think of anything that
That
we
you're
don't have at our market.
Okay.
there's some items that are difficult to grow. We probably could use some more potatoes. And then there is one item that I've been trying to push, and as our vendors get older, we don't pick up too many young people getting into it, and it's something that we'd like to see keep going. And occasionally we'll have one come in for a year or two, and then they get into other things, but it's that's one thing, younger growers of vegetables.
It's
Yeah,
the
I guess.
number one thing in terms of pastimes is gardening. It's number one.
Oh, that sounds good.
No?
Yeah.
Are you going to say something about it? Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I interrupted you.
I've got one thing that when we went over items from last year, we also going to do the WIC program again this year. That's through the county health, and county health hands out WIC vouchers to people. I'm sure it just comes from there, and they bring them down, and they can just get vegetables done, or
Only vegetables, yeah, only fresh vegetables, no baked goods or.
They don't consider that healthy, I suppose. It's for women, infants, and children.
Right, they want
yeah.
the kids to learn to eat fresh vegetables.
They do have a program for adults too, but I'm not sure
Yeah.
how they get them. But
Well, I have to tell you, there's no better way to have vegetables than growing.
yeah,
I like to grow my veggies.
Yeah.
They're so good.
Yeah.
In fact, I just made myself hungry saying that. Well, we've only got a few seconds left. Did we touch on everything you think, Russ, Donna? Anything else you wanted to begin? The hours tomorrow are?
7 till noon.
And they start Wednesdays in July.
July 6th will start, and we're looking forward to seeing everybody.
Oh,
and pretty much we're there, rain or shine, unless it. We usually there, and if it rains and continues too long, we will pack up. But
Yeah.
we're pretty much there, and people can stop in their cars and jump out and get what they want.
Sure. Yeah, that's tomorrow, folks. The farmers market opening. Yippee yay.